Welcome back to Healing Oaths. This is Briel, and I'm here with a pick a card reading using the Wisdom of the Oracle divination cards. A great deck, especially for when you're looking for answers for a particular answer and as it may apply to the areas of your life. So we're going to be looking today to answer, what is my next step? So whatever is the predominant thing that is going on in your life today, now, whenever you find this, because this is a timeless reading, we will be getting the answer for what is going on. We're going to have 3 different choices, and I will give you a moment to take stock, to see how you feel, so that you'll be divinely guided to the right card that will be for your message. Again, this is a timeless reading. So what is my next step? And again, this is whatever is the predominant question you have in your mind currently, what's going on in your life predominantly. This will guide you to the correct next step. Connect to your angels, your spirit guides, because I'm asking them now, what is the next step? So for whoever reads this, whoever sees this, watches this, at whatever time, whenever they watch it, it will provide from the cards that they choose the next step for them. So here we go. I'll be choosing 3 cards, and then I'll give you a chance to choose which card you would like. Okay. We have our starfish. We have our butterfly, and we have our ladybug. So our question is, again, today at this time, this moment, when you watch this video, the predominant question that you have in your mind, heart, and soul for your spirit guides, your higher self, that you're looking to know the next step. So let's take a moment, take a deep breath in for 4, out for 6, and choose whether you would like 1 with the butterfly, 2 with the starfish, or 3 with our ladybug. Okay, we'll breathe now and then choose. Okay, I hope you all have been able to make a choice. We'll start by receiving the message from our butterfly. This is number 1. We'll have our butterfly stand by right here. And what is my next step? All that glitters. Okay, we see here the mask, the dramatic mask. We also see it looks like there's a heavenly person looking down here, and a mound of what looks like sequins, and the glow from the sequins. So let's look at the further message. So what is your next step? According to this, whatever is that predominant question that you've brought forward, whenever you find this, because this is timeless, your next step, it says, is a need to see beyond the superficial. So this is telling you, for whatever you're doing for your next step, you need to look beyond the superficial. A desire to don a mask or dress something up or disguise its true nature. Trying to be something you're not. Chasing after every sparkly new thing. Being mercurial. So this warns us against not looking at what's really in front of us. It tells us it's only human to want to adorn oneself in trinkets and paint a pretty picture of oneself. It's natural to want to acquire trappings of status or to deny them as a statement of rebellion. But if it sparkles, is it better? Whether it's a fast car, big house, title, or position, the stamp of authority, or the sparkling diamonds, these icons let you know something about a person, place, or thing. Or do they? The truth is that people seek to acquire things because of what they will do for them and how they symbolically will elevate them and make them more attractive. This card signals that it's time to see beyond the adornments and probe underneath the surface. Learn to recognize the masks people wear and the motives underlying them. Imagine all that glitters is gone. Would you still desire the object or person? So, you know what your next step, the first thing you're doing is looking at reality. Look behind the glass. Is that what you really want? Is that who you really want? That's the next step. If this is about a relationship that you're questioning your next step, it says sometimes we try to become something we're not to impress others. We embellish a story a bit, adding some dramatic elements to make us more appealing. The real person becomes hidden behind the sparkle and shine. Then there are times when we don't see the true value of someone else because he or she may not have the glitz or glamour that seems so desirable. Now is the time to look past the surface, beyond the mask, to the essence of a person. Who that person is, not what he or she has or can give you. It is important. See beyond the glitter and look for the inner glow. Use the eyes in your heart. Let go of artifice and let what is authentic shine. So if it's a relationship, take a good look and see, is it just glitter and glam, or does that person have true substance? Or maybe they're not very glitzy and glammy, but they're indeed the better person. They have that substance that is required for what you need. If your query about your next step is about your prosperity, our oracle lets us know sometimes an opportunity looks so good that it glitters like gold and you just can't resist it, especially when it appears others are doing so well and have hit the mother lode. During the American gold rush, everyone hurried west to find their fortune and then deserted entire towns after the mining depleted the gold veins in the earth. So too can you deplete yourself after you chase after the latest shiny thing that has caught your eye. There's a mercurial quality to your present circumstances. So see that? There's a quality of that, the rush to the next thing, moving quickly currently. If you're asking about something that has to do with your business, your prosperity, work, money. So pay no attention to those who chase after fool's gold. Resist the temptation to be jealous of others. So don't look at what the Joneses are doing. This is telling us what they have achieved may not be the true success you seek. So don't compare yourself to them. You see only the surface right now, only the sparkle. So your next step is to be assured that you will experience your own shining moment if you stick to what you know. So your next step, if you're asking about prosperity or business, work, career, is stick to what you know. All that glitters may not be gold for you. The next part is for people who are looking or concerned about protection. And this says this is a signal to walk away from what you're contemplating. So your next step, if you're looking about protection or protecting yourself, or you're concerned about protection, it says walk away from what you're contemplating. There's a thin veneer of glitter and sparkle that masks something rotten underneath. Pursuing it will only bring about a difficult situation you will be sorry you got yourself into. Stay away. Isn't it wonderful how spirit protects you? Better things await. So again, to reiterate, if it's about a relationship, make sure you see the true value of the person that you're with. Are they really the one that you want, need? Are they what they seem on the outside? And maybe they look plain on the outside, but they truly are what you need. If it's about your business, your prosperity, your career, you need to make sure that you don't rush into anything too quickly. Pay attention. Don't run after something that you don't know about. If you don't compare yourself to others, and you don't get caught up in seeing something or pursuing something that's too good to be true, you need to stick to what you know, because you will then be able to experience your own shining moment, and you will get the better in your situation. If it's protection you're concerned about currently, walk away. Don't go in that direction. stay away. Spirit is telling you that that is not for you. So to protect yourself, don't go in that direction. So that is our pile number 1 with our butterfly. And now for number 2 with our starfish, we have to be fair. And we see the bunting here. This lady has many arms, but she has the balance. We know that we're looking, also she has an owl on her head. So this to me looks like being very cautious as far as thinking things out. Although we're doing many things, we're balanced. She's very balanced here. Although she has 4 hands, she looks like she's trying to get a lot going on. There's a fortune cookie in one of her scales on one side, and there's something I can't make out on the other side. Well, anyway, let's see what's going on, because it seems like she's a well-thinking lady. So let's see. To be fair. So for those of you who chose pile number 2 with our starfish, it says balance, justice, and a need to consider options, mutual benefit, and the law of cause and effect. That's the key to the message for this choice. So again, our question was, what is my next step? Or what should be my next step? So whatever your predominant question is, your next step is, the message from the oracle says, life offers experiences that are challenging and experiences that are nourishing, yet over time they strike a balance. You move from stasis to doing, from discovering to loving to letting go to begin again. Life is a pendulum swinging between all of these states. You will always oscillate back and forth between doing and being. If you're not content with where you are at this moment, remember that all experiences have their place. Accept them without judgment, and you will see how the universe adjusts in perfect balance. You reap what you sow. For every cause there's an effect. Wondrous things will be revealed now. So your next step is, again, accept where you are now. That is your next step. First, accept where you are now. If this has to do with a relationship you're concerned with, it says, can you find a way to achieve fairness right now? This is a time for listening as well as speaking, for understanding as well as asking to be understood. There's much to be learned, and you will learn it if you remain open and objective, weighing options and considering all sides. Your heart wants to connect to others, so allow for a balanced exchange of ideas and actions. So again, accept where you are, and if it has to do with a relationship, whatever type, intimate, personal, friendship, you need to learn to listen, weigh options, remain open, allow connection with others, so you have a balanced exchange of ideas and options. It says the best kind of relationship is one in which there is mutual benefit and each party feels heard, valued, and respected. Be fair to all. If this has to do with your business, so you're looking at your prosperity, your work, the prosperity message from this oracle tells us now is the time for even exchanges. Justice will prevail. So again, remember, we need to take stock. That's the next step. And if it has to do with your prosperity, your work, your business, you need to know justice will be prevailed and you will be treated accordingly. In all your affairs, you'll be able to negotiate fair settlements. Mutual gain is the gift to you and your partners and colleagues. This is also a good time to square your finances and take stock of how you're compensated for your work. This signifies balance, justice, and negotiations. So remember, all things must be fairly recompensed. Keep this as your truth, and so it will be. So if it's about business, again, take stock of where you are. Know your worth. That is your next step. For protection now, the oracle reminds us, injustice and inequity are part of life, but they do not have to define your experience. This is a time when you may observe an injustice righted and fairly redressed. Perhaps you come to the rescue of someone else or are called to answer for a personal slight. You will be amazed by the sense of power that surges through you when you stand up for yourself and others. This card also indicates a good time to advocate for others who are less fortunate. Choose your cause and commit to it because you can make a difference. One thing is for certain, if fairness is your intention, the situation will be resolved for the highest good of all concerned through acts of kindness, empathy, and courage. So again, if this is about protection, you need to approach something with fairness, be fair to all. It might be for you standing up for somebody else or standing up for yourself, but also you need to make sure you know that you can make a difference. So for those who chose number 2 with the starfish, make sure within your relationships there's mutual benefit for everybody. So all, again, accept where you are, making sure there's mutual benefit for everyone. If it's prosperity, business, or your career, you need to make sure that you're recompensed fairly, and also that whatever settlement or negotiation you're in, there will be mutual gain for everybody. That will be your next step. See where you are and know that there will be mutual gain for everybody. So your negotiation will be next. Protection. So we know that if you chose this and you're interested in protection at this time, know that you might need to stand up for somebody. You need to maybe choose a cause and commit, because you can make a difference. And also remember to act with kindness, empathy, and courage. So that's for our number 2 starfish messages. And for number 3, our little ladybug, or some people say ladybird, our message is the fates. So we see a young lady here, a little angel, and she has the stars around her, and she's embracing herself. It looks like she's feeling very happy and satisfied with herself. So again, the question is, what is my next step? And this reminds us with the fates that the next step is acceptance that there are things you cannot change, and knowing what those things are. That's what this reminds us. This message says, it reminds us of the serenity prayer, where it says, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, and the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. There are things in life you will never have control over. The conditions brought on by the evolution of the collective, by nature, and by your past experiences may be fated, preordained by spirit for the greater purpose you cannot understand in this lifetime. It may not be in your cards to understand why certain events occur, but you can accept the mystery and work with those events and your current circumstances, what those events and your current circumstances have to teach you. This is the wisdom contained in the serenity prayer. So accepting what we cannot change and identifying what these things are. If it's a relationship you're concerned about at this time, it says other people are who they are. You cannot change them. Challenge is to accept them as they are and not to make them otherwise to suit you. This is a time to look at how you attempt to mold people to fit into your view and how they should be, so you can remain in a relationship and avoid discomfort. What if who they are and whatever is happening between you and them is in this situation is perfect from the perspective of spirit? Now is the time to accept what you cannot change. That's your next step. Accept what you cannot change if it's about a relationship. Even if this means that you honor yourself, spirit, and the other person by moving on. So, love unconditionally for each of us is on our own journey, and we cannot direct that of another. Be aware that this relation is indeed fated, and you're meant to evolve into a better version of yourself as a result of it. So if it's about a relationship, take stock and realize that what's going on that you're concerned about now is not something that you can change maybe, but you need to identify what the thing is. So if it's what's on your mind now, that's what it is. And also you might need to accept or move on. If it's about prosperity, business, or career, your experiences concerning prosperity and abundance are beyond your personal control currently. You've been invited to accept what is unreservedly. This could be a temporary situation, seemingly thrust upon you by outside forces, but there is an underlying purpose you can't see that has been determined by the fates. It could be a situation you're unprepared for, and you may not understand how it will benefit you at the moment, Do not fight the situation. So for you, if it's about business, career, you don't fight the situation. That's your next step. You write it out and see where it leads. Surrender to it. And the serenity you need to make good choices from here on out will be given to you. You will indeed flourish. So about business, again, write out the situation. Don't fight it. If it's protection you're concerned with, it is difficult to understand why painful things happen to good people. Fate is a mystery after all. Yet what we do with our circumstances, the way in which we respond to life's challenges, is how we rise up to greet our destiny. Now is one of those times to be aware of your powerlessness to change certain situations and surrender to acceptance. Hang in there. Life will only get better. So if it's a protection you're concerned with and you're having a difficult time now, hang in there knowing that it's going to get better. Know it and believe it. Act that we believe. Act that you believe that it will get better. For the only thing you can control right now is your attitude. So your next step is know that things are going to get better and act like it. When you align with the fates, being mindful of what you cannot change and you can change, serenity will come to you. So again, overall, it's telling us, if you pick pile number 3, there are things you can change and things you aren't, and you need to identify the things that they are. If it's your relationship, you know you cannot change another. That's not what we're here to do. You need to either accept them or maybe move on, and that might be what is necessary. If it's about business, prosperity, career, you need to know that you might not be in control of what's going on with you around you right now, but you need to write it out and see where it leads. You need to surrender to it because you will flourish in the end. And if it's about protection, know that although you're going through a difficult time, you need to know life will only get better. And you need to make sure that you have the right attitude currently, because serenity will eventually come to you and the situation will be resolved. So again, what do you need to know right now? You've received the messages. I hope that you're able to work with these energies, and you'll check out some of my other videos on my channel. Have a beautiful day filled with health, love, happiness, peace, and prosperity whenever you see this. And look to know always that your spirit guides, your intuition are always available to you for assistance. Thank you for visiting. Bye-bye.